जयपुर वाया कोटा।
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत।
ಲಕ್ನೋ ಜಂಕ್ಷನ್
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो।
It's time. It is eliminator time. I am feeling those knots in my stomach that I used to feel before like this big maths exam. Talking about maths, RCB have kept all the mathematical equations intact. It has been the comeback for the ages to see RCB here at the playoffs. They'll be taking on RR, who want to forget what's happened in May, remember everything that's happened till April because they did everything right. For the RRR CB game here at CB Live, I've got Joy Bhattacharya and Michael Vaughan in the house. Welcome, gentlemen. Did you all feel these knots before a big exam? At all? Because we have a class topper sitting here and we've got an Ashes winning captain who never feels any knots in his
How do you
stomach.
know I wasn't a class topper?
You were not a class topper, but you've always been under so much pressure.
He was
right?
a class topper. I wasn't a class topper. He was actually.
I actually wasn't.
But you know why he doesn't have the knots in his stomach? Because of what happened yesterday. So he's just relaxed. He's putting his legs up and sitting happily with what KKR have done.
I'm happy with what KKR have done, but I think this is a great game.
Yes.
This is a really good game because the way it's set up. You know, one team on the ascent, one team going down, but really has got a lot of quality out there. So two very different emotions out there. Young captain, this old, not captain, but sort of Virat leading his team in inspiring them in so many ways. So it's a great matchup. It's one that you can really write a book about, you know.
But who would have imagined, because at one point, RCB were the bottom of the table, RR were sitting pretty at the top, and today here at the Eliminator, it's RCB versus RR.
Yeah, I mean, Rajasthan can play in April, they can't play in May, and RCB can't play in April, but they can play in May. That's been the change. Oh, it happens, it's T20 cricket, you get on a roll, you get a kind of rhythm of play with all your players find form, and suddenly T20 cricket becomes quite an easy format to win games. On the other side of the fence, if you start losing games and players start to lose a bit of form, you can pretty much lose from any position. And you just look at the kind of 2-11s and you go down the 11 from the RCB side, and most of the players are in decent form now. They weren't a few weeks ago, but they are now. And from Rajasthan, there's not really many. Ryan Parag and Sanju Samson are in decent form. Trent Bolt's okay, but a lot of the Rajasthan Royals individual players are just out of form.
Well, they have won the toss, Rajasthan, and they've decided to bowl first. It's Ahmedabad. We saw the dew yesterday. Sanju Samson said this at the toss, saying that there was just too much dew, and which is why they're bowling first. Big toss to win.
Huge toss to win. And I'm telling you that today, if the curator had come to someone and said that, no, dude, today somebody would have hit him. I mean, and if Hadas hit him, he would have stayed hit, you know. But seriously, I mean, how can you say there's no... I mean, there was so much dew yesterday, it was not funny. And I, to be honest with you, I think it's something that the IPL should think about, because eliminator games being played in conditions where toss is a huge factor, for me is not a great look. Do you then turn around and say that, okay, I played in such a way that I find a weekend or something so that I can play in the afternoon? Because really, it's not fair.
Yes.
If it's an eliminator game, maybe change times, do something. But the dew playing such a huge factor in it, maybe you start at 5:30.
Because Faf wanted to bowl too, is what he said at the toss. Like you said, it's a toss that both the captains will just be saying it's too much of an unfair it's not fair on the other team.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, last night the pitch played pretty well in the first innings as well. They just didn't bat well enough. You know, the Sunrisers lost those 2 early wickets, the 2 key players. Klassen started to get going, Tripathi, and then obviously there was a run out. KKR were excellent with the ball, brilliant in the field. So, the pitch changed slightly, but you know, I still think in the first innings there was a good enough pitch to go and get 200. And if you if you get 200 on the board and RCB in good form, if they get something like 200 on the board, it still won't be easy to chase because of the pressure. It's the eliminator. Last night, you got to remember, last night's game, you've got another chance. So this is what I love sport about tonight. If you have a bad 5 overs or there's a run out or a flying one-handed catch, a brilliant opening burst by a bowler, you know you're taking your team through and you're knocking a team out. That's when sport becomes cool.
And not only that, this year, it's not even, in their heads, it's not even next season. Because there's a big auction. They may not be in the same team. Everything may change. So for a lot of guys, you know, you look at it and RCB, somebody like Virat would be saying, okay, I've just about at one point got this sort of set right who can win this. RR will be looking the same way, saying that, okay, we reached a final, we've reached the qualifiers now. We've got, I mean, these 4, 5, 6 people, we may not be able to hold all of them together. You know, Yashasvi Jaiswal, if he goes to auction next year, will go for a huge price. If you're holding on to Jaiswal, you may not be able to hold on to Riyan Parag.
Yes.
So all sorts of stuff. So this may be their last chance to do it together as a team.
But well, whoever wins today will be playing Hyderabad and they'll be playing in Chennai. Chennai is again a ground where there is a lot of dew. So this is something that will be, I mean, not for right now, but this will be something that will be playing on their mind as well. But this game, crucial for both these teams. It's a do or die. We've seen what RCB have done. We've seen what RR's done. It's almost been that line graph that they used to teach us in school. It's been RR that's been dipping and RCB that's just been going up. That's what
First
has happened
8
in
games,
this game.
1 out of 8, 7 out of 8. So
Yes.
between them, they were 50%. Between them, they were 50%. And now in the last 7 games, take a look. 6-1 and 2-4. And, you know, one not rained out against Kolkata. But, I mean, just look at the averages also. I mean, batting average looks fine. The batting rate, look at the difference there. 200 plus totals. And 200 plus totals this year is something that, you know, so much. Just see how much Rajasthan is doing. Bengaluru.
Yeah, I think the Bengaluru batting rate, that's the real kind of push. Clearly, they almost got themselves into a position that they had no other alternative to go for it. You know, not 6 games ago, they wouldn't have thought that they could qualify. And they've got to 14 points and it's on the back of other people's losing. They probably thought if they get to 14, it still wouldn't be enough. So they went for it. And they've just got onto this rhythm of play and they've got players in form. But you know, I've really enjoyed the fact that they've been more daring.
Yes.
They haven't played safe. And with the ball in hand as well, Siraj has bowled a bit fuller, got the ball swinging around. Patidar's just gone out there and attacked pretty much from ball one. Virat's been more aggressive. That's the way to play T20 cricket.
But for RCB, they've been here 9 times. They've been to the playoff 9 times. They've been to the finals 3 times. Apparently, Faf was looking at that trophy very closely, looking at whose names are there. He's held it once before when he was at CSK. So they'll really be waiting to get their hands onto that trophy.
Yeah, again, and Virat will be looking at it and saying that, you know, he's come so close so many times.
We saw the reactions that day. We could see like tears in his eyes. We could see how much this means to him.
He's seen it in 2009.
Yes.
Early in his career, 2009, he's seen it. Then he went and saw it in 2010 when they went down to, 2011. And it's just one of those things. And then, you know, 2016. So, yeah, he must be feeling that I've got to cross that threshold at some point in time. And I think whether we like it or not, it's playing on him.
Yes.
Because he's had... When you have a really storied career, when you have the kind of career Virat has had, more than 80 international centuries, the kind of records he's had, and changing India's test record, you know, probably India's most successful test captain abroad, easy by a long, long margin. And all that you take, and he said that, you know, this is that one thing, glittering thing missing in his trophy cabinet. He'd love to have it there.
But mentally coming into this game, Michael, 6 games on the trot, they're as high on confidence as it can get.
Yeah, they're high on confidence. They're playing great, but you know this is a new night, and they're going to have to do it the hard way, batting first on a pitch that apparently is very, very dry, and we know that the dew will come in later on. So it'll be interesting to see how they go about the batting, because if they feel, and I get a feeling yesterday the Sunrisers probably were thinking 225 from the get-go.
Yes.
And we know they go hard, and it actually opened up a few opportunities, and they lost a few wickets by being so aggressive. I wonder what the RCB team will be thinking at the start. Will they be thinking over 200, which means they go risk and they might lose 1 or 2 early wickets, and then you might end up with 159 like we saw last night. The pitches are very similar. I think they're going to need 210 at least.
Yes.
210 to get on the board, but there's ways of getting to 210. It's not all about crash, bang, wallop. Yes, you've got to have that mindset, but you can play quite sensibly. From 7 to 16 in the overs, you don't, I mean, Klassen last night was just trying to hit every ball out the ground and eventually got caught at deep mid-wicket. I just look back to last night's game and thought, I just wonder if they'd have played from 10 to 14 just half sensibly with those two, Tripathi and Klassen, still out there. would they have got to 190, 200? Probably. So you don't have to go all out when you just kind of get that 200, 210. But they've got the players in form to go and get the decent score. But I'm just watching the two spinners. I looked at the spinners last night, Chakravarti with a bit of mystery, and you look at Ashwin, you look at Chahal, both that can spin it either way. I think it's crucial on a pitch like this.
And for RR, do you think they're going to, what kind of mental space are they coming into this game with? Because 4 losses and then 1 washout. So if they manage to beat RCB today, do you think it's going to be that booster shot that they need, the confidence that they need?
Yeah, I think it's going to make a huge difference to them. I think it's going to make a huge difference to them. They'll be looking at themselves and they'll be wondering what. And the other thing is that they would have enjoyed, say, playing against Kolkata and just if they had won that match against Kolkata, they would have faced Kolkata again in 2 days' time and had a chance to beat them and go straight to the final. So they'll be looking at that as a missed opportunity in some way as well, because on their home ground, they would have thought they had a chance. So all this is playing on their head. But I think a win, and you see, again, you have players, they also have, you ask yourself, do they have game-changing players? They do. I mean, somebody like a Yashasvi can change a game in 4, 5, 6 overs.
Yes.
They have Sanju Samson. They have that ability, and they are outside of Kolkata now. If you had said the start of the tournament, I would have said they have the best bowling attack in the tournament. Now I see Kolkata is probably a shade better in terms of how they've delivered, but they are right up there. They have a very, very complete bowling attack. You know, Bolt up front, Sandeep Sharma does it, Avish at the death, the 2 spinners in the middle. They have a class bowling attack. And I think that is a huge plus for them.
All right, let's have a look at the teams. Let's have a look at Bengaluru's playing 11 first, see if they have any changes. No surprise there. Why should they change anything around? 6 games on the trot, Michael. You're happy that they've gone ahead with the same playing 11?
Yeah, I guess it's just the batting lineup, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, Padidaka went number 3. I guess he will if they get off to a good start. Glenn Maxwell was used a little bit down the back end as that enforcer. Played nicely. Cameron Green, he's been in decent form as well. Lama is the only left-hander. You know, will they try and kind of mix it up in the middle with left-hand, right-hand combination? But they've got players in form. Dinesh has been in great nick. You know, he played a nice little cameo the other night. And then you're looking at the bowlers. I don't know the impact sub. I don't know whether they'll look to bring in another bowler. The impact
we'll
sub.
have a look at that as well. It's the same list from the last game.
So could be Swapnil. But if you say that this pitch doesn't do much for spinners, then Vishak is a pretty decent bowler as well. So then you might be looking at Vishak Vijay Kumar as well.
But you know, Joyda, last year, we've spoken about RCB and how it's been a comeback for the ages. But talking about comeback for the ages, you were sitting here when Rinku hit those 5 sixes. You were falling off your chair, screaming and shouting.
Actually, I was sitting here and Lisa was sitting there and she was laughing at me.
Yes, she was laughing at you, but we could see the excitement. But I think you were just as excited when Yash Dayal bowled that over to Dhoni and Jadeja, because that is a comeback for the ages as well.
Yeah, we went for 54 for 0 in this very ground out here. And then he comes back and does what he does against Dhoni. And I think it's what is amazing, I think 2-3 things stand out for me. One is these guys have faced each other for the longest time. Rinku Singh, they play for the same team, UP. And from the UP sports hostel days, they have been, I mean, they know each other for the longest time in UP cricket. Okay. So one of the things that, I don't know who got it done, whether it's Rinku or whatever, immediately after that, there was a lovely message from Kolkata also saying that, you know, it happens to the best of us, you know. The second thing is he had gone for about 3.5 crores in that auction.
Yes.
You know, when he had been bought. He went for more money this time.
He went for 5 crores this time, so they've backed him, really backed him.
That means they really backed him. And I think he's returned that reward. I think he's returned that reward. He's a really good bowler. He swings it both ways and he has that ability to bowl at the death. It gives you variations. He has variations. I think he's a much more complete bowler than he was even last year. I think he's added a little more to his armory, but just look at those numbers and it'll tell you. I mean, 9.88 at the death is a very, very decent average, given that no team goes, today if you're going at less than 12 in the last 5 overs, you know, it's not considered. So those are pretty decent bowling rates if you look at it. And he's bowling his 7 games with Chennaswamy.
Yes. Also, Michael, talking about his mental strength, we know that he had gone through that low phase, he's spoken about it, but to come back and bowl to Mahendra Singh Dhoni and Ravindra Jadeja, the best finishers the world has seen, goes for that big 6, but then still holds his nerve and wins the game for RCB.
No.
Yeah, I mean, how do I put this? I mean, his first ball,
yes,
it was a poor ball, it went out of the ground. So he got lucky. Let's face it, he kept with the old ball. I know it's a hard ball to hold because it's a bit wet, but he did get a little bit lucky. Once he got the dry ball in his hand, he delivered his skills exceptionally well. You know, bowling those out the back of the hand, slow balls, just a little bit wider to Jadeja. He missed 2 in 2. So he's very, very smart. But on that occasion against Dhoni, I do think he got a little bit lucky. So we have to praise him because of what happened to Rinku Singh. It's great that he held his nerve. But did he hold his nerve because he had a dry ball? Probably. He got a bit fortunate.
Also, Virat told him.
But I'm delighted that he did because I think he's... do I think he can go all the way and play for India? I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I think there's a few that are a little bit better, but I love character. And I loved his celebration. I love to see the smile on his face. When you think of what happened to him against Rinku Singh, the abuse he got online, he had to turn up at the ground. It was on the big screen, him getting hit to all
Which is very important.
which was disgraceful. But delighted that he got the job done. But, I'm not going to be saying at the minute that I think he's going to go flying into the India side. I think as we speak, he's just a very good performer for the RCB team and he's having a good season.
Also, remember one thing. It's Virat who told him.
Yes.
He said, don't go for Yorkers. Go for the slowers. They're tougher to hit. Because a Yorker, if you miss your length, you'll travel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so he changed to the slower after that. And of course, the slower is easier to bowl if you have a dry ball also.
Yes.
Well,
Well, he's spoken about the long after party they had. It went on till 5 in the morning and they sure should be partying. Now let's have a look at Rajasthan's playing 11, see what changes they have. Well, this is their bowling 11. Yuzi comes into their bowling 11 here. And no other changes, but we'll have a look at the impact list as well.
So basically they play this game.
Wow,
but it's
Hetmeyer is in there.
So Hetmeyer being there makes a difference.
Boys, that's a big...
That's a big one.
Yeah, that's big to have him back.
Yeah, so that means unless they get really smashed around and they have to bring in Andre Berger,
Correct.
expect Hetmeyer to come in and bat. Probably under...
Yeah.
That's why they always... Rajasthan...
So that's been their strategy, hasn't it?
they always name 3 so that they have that international player ability to be able to switch international players.
That's a tremendous boost for our... How fit he is, we're not too sure, but to have Hetmeyer, who is a finisher, an explosive left-hander in the middle.
Also, Hetmeyer has never been known for his fitness. But when he's got bat in hand, he's something else.
Because he can be that game changer for Rajasthan. We've spoken about what an impact he can have, but someone who also needs to have a big impact for Rajasthan, because when he does well, Rajasthan does well, which is why I want to talk about Yuzvendra Chahal and ask our experts for their coolest advice, powered by Crompton Air Coolers Jaldi Cooling. We think Yuzi needs some jaldi cooling because the last few games, 4-5 games, he hasn't really done well. Started off really well. He had that purple cap on, 5 games, 10 wickets. And then he just seemed to kind of get derailed, like the Rajasthan team has gotten derailed. But if Yuzi does well, Rajasthan does well.
Absolutely. And the second thing, remember, he is the most successful bowler in the history of the tournament. He has 200 IPL wickets. And I'll tell you a stat which is stunning because Yuzvendra Chahal has gone for 50 runs and over in his 50 runs in his spell of 4.
Yes.
About 5 times. I think 5 times. Out of which the two highest scores for 50 have been this year. And he's been bowling from 2014.
Yes.
So which tells you that in so many years, he's really not gone. This is the year he's been going. And that's something they'll be thinking about because one of the things is there's been video around for a long time. But somewhere, something is not quite working for him. And I think for somebody like a Chahal, he's a chess player himself.
Yes.
He was an internationally rated chess player. I think he just needs to sort it himself in his own head. I think sometimes you get a bit too close, like he's getting a bit closer than he normally is. He has that ability to normally go wider and wider and pull the batter out. Maybe that, I don't know, some sort of adjustment. Michael, what do you think?
Michael, but what I don't understand is, if we have a look at those stats, the initial part when people were getting hit all across the park, Yuzi was very economical. He was getting the wickets. And when the pitches kind of got slow and low, he's getting hit all across and not picking up the wickets.
Yeah, I mean, I'll look at the positive. He's got 17 wickets.
Yes.
So he's had like the whole of the team, they've had a bad run of it. In the last 5 games, 4 losses. Obviously, the rained-off game, that was a good result for them. I still feel that he is the kind of person that will arrive tonight and bowl well. You know, I never look at you and think, oh, you know, he bowled well, badly in the last game, it's going to affect the next game. I think every game with him, he can get back on the plateau of just being back to, we start again. And I think tonight you're looking at Yuvi, you're looking at Ashwin. I just think that combination is crucial. You know, so much experience, so much ability to get wickets. Yes. And as we've seen on this pitch, it's a good pitch. If you've got a start last night, I know we're talking about slower bowlers, but if you've got bowlers that can get you wickets, that's the only way you're going to restrict these powerhouse batting units of going on to get the huge score. And in UV, you know, I just love the way he plays his cricket. I like someone that smiles on a cricket field, and he seems to do it more. And he always seems to shake Virat's hand. I mean, Virat hit him for 100, didn't he, in the game earlier and they seem to just be like playing in the back guard, shaking hands, having a bit of a giggle.
Virat got him to RCB and then, you know, made him. And Virat used to push him consistently. Why is this guy not playing international cricket? Really backed his guys. But I'll tell you, the only good advice has already been given, which is Sanju Samson has come back and said, I won the toss and we are bowling.
yes.
That's the advice he needed.
That's a good start.
That's what he wanted to hear, didn't he? Yes. He's going to be relieved. Like usual, we've got our two winners. Let's have a look at what advice you'll have to give us for the match. Here we have Mr. Patil say, my Arco Palit, sorry, I read that as Patil. Orko Palit. Third time around, that's a third take for me. My coolest advice for Bengaluru is to use Maxwell against Jaiswal in the power play to get an early breakthrough. Could see that. Interesting. Next up, Sushant Modi says, my coolest advice to Rajasthan is to bowl both Berger and Bolt against Kohli and Faf as they both are susceptible to left-arm pace. We'll wait and watch and see if that happens or if we have any other surprise. These were our winners for today. Congratulations to you both. If you all want to win big prizes, do write in with your coolest advice powered by Crompton Air Coolers Jaldi Cooling. Jaldi se write in. You all know by now. It's two winners. So write in if you all want to be one of those two winners. Talking about winners, talking about the Eliminator, talking about whether he's going to be the Terminator today. Is he going to press that accelerator, which he's been doing against spin? Virat Kohli. What does one say? He's just had the most spectacular season, his second best season. Kind of silenced all the critics who've said that his strike rate against spin, his middle over strike rate has been problematic. He's kind of put all that to rest, hasn't he?
See, I think Harsha said something lovely this day. He said that the only thing that he wanted to do, I said, Harsha, what do you want to do? He said, I just want to, sidle up to Virat Kohli and whisper in his ear, I don't think you can help India win the World Cup. Because all Virat Kohli needs is for somebody to tell him that he can't play modern T20 cricket or he can't do this. And then he said, what? I can't help show you. I'm going to show you now. So, it's so many players. And we've talked about this before. People like Kobe Bryant, they needed Michael Jordan.
That's the oxygen, isn't it?
They needed somebody to tell them they can't do this and then just lead them, let them be. And of course, it helps that his team has managed. I mean, if today they hadn't managed these 6 on the trot, he wouldn't have got that momentum. But I think he's been a large part of that momentum, but he's taken it long. Also, he's done things he doesn't do. He's been sweeping the ball, which is not a short sweep. Even he's done not a reverse. He's done a sweep proper. He's done a slog sweep. He's done sweeps. It's not something he plays normally. Slog sweep he plays, sweep he doesn't.
But the sweeps also to a Rashid, to a Noor, we are seeing him reinvent himself. It's also... He's spoken about it. He spoke about how, he used to play this shot back in the day. So he just wanted to add that extra risk. But we see the numbers here against spin and the big change in numbers that we've seen. Yeah,
I mean, that average is special on both sides of those columns there. On the left, 76, but it's not gone down a great deal. On the right to 68.5. But the strike rate, look at the difference there. 123 at the start and then 161. In the last 5 games where they've as a team, they've just got better and better and better. I'm going to mention one name about the sweep shot, Andy Flower. Andy Flower is the coach. Andy Flower was one of the best sweepers of a cricket ball that the game's ever seen. So technically, mentally, he knows exactly how to teach someone how to play the sweep shot. And I will guarantee that Andy Flower's probably had hours and hours of sessions with Virat because it's a must shot. Against spin now, you've got to be at... Do all players have to hit it 360? Probably not. There's a quarter of the ground on the right hand that not many can play the reverse sweeps that well, but some can. Virat doesn't play that shot, but playing the sweep, getting the fielders fine. So you play the sweep, get the fielders fine, and it offers a hard sweep possibility.
Yes.
So the fielder then comes a little bit squarer, and then the slot sweep comes into the equation. So the sweep for me is an absolute must in the modern game against spinners, because if you speak to any spinners, and Warner used to say, you know, oh, I love players sweeping me, because he actually didn't.
Yes.
Because you're actually sweeping the best ball. You know, the length ball, on and around, all right, you're playing across the line. If you miss it, there's a chance you're going to be LBW, but it's their best ball that you're getting down and whacking. You know, you can actually extend your arms to get out to meet it. If it goes a bit wider, you can just extend your arms and go a bit straighter and put it into the stands. I'm making it sound very easy. It's not, but you have to have it in your armoury. And I know from England's plans to Virat Kohli, they have all the fielders on the onside straight, because they don't think he's going to sweep behind square. He might play that back off the back foot, whip down there for a couple, but he doesn't get down and sweep. So if he's bringing that to his game and he takes it to the World Cup, where the pitches will be slow, probably quite low, and there'll be lots of spin, if he can add that and take it to the Indian side, India are going to have a better, even better opening for them.
But you know, Joyda, we see great players constantly reinventing themselves. Rohit Sharma 2.0, we saw him in the ODI World Cup. Are we going to see this version of Virat 2.0 in the T20 World Cup?
I think, look, why are Virat and Rohit playing this? They're playing it for only one reason. I think Rohit wouldn't have played this had they won the 50-over World Cup. Virat still, I think he's fit enough. He reckons he'll go 2-3 years. But they just want to win a World Cup. I mean, they've seen it early in their careers, and they would have thought, you know, one won it in 2007, one won it in 2011, and thought, oh, there are going to be plenty of these. And then they've come to the end of their careers. They say, wait, my career is getting over. I need to win another one. So they're just running for that. There's nothing else that's driving them. They're just moving forward to that. And I think that's what. But, you know, I was just thinking about what could somebody like Faf whisper to Virat. And he could also whisper that, you know, you haven't really ever won a man of the match in a IPL qualifier match. You know,
there's a lot of whispering happening in Virat's ears, but
it works.
It works.
Clearly works.
It definitely works. But I don't know if someone's going to be whispering in his ear that he's has this matchup against somebody from RR. Somebody is Sandeep Sharma, who's the only bowler to have gotten Virat Kohli out 7 times in the IPL. So I don't know if there's someone whispering him in his ear about this matchup. But he's been just exceptional, Sandeep Sharma, been doing it for so many years. And it's not only Virat, it's also Rohit Sharma, it's also Surya Kumar Yadav, who averaged, some 7-8 against Sandeep Sharma. So he is a key asset to Rajasthan.
Yeah, I mean, look at those numbers. I mean, if you're going just under 10s down the back end, you're bowling nice. And look at the top there, he's going at 6.58. It's remarkable figures. Just the 10 wickets, but... You know, it's those economies that you're looking at there for Sandeep, which is special. I would think that they'll throw Sandeep at Virat quite early. I'm sure.
You see him bowling
without any question.
At least 2 overs in the power play?
Maybe, yeah. They'll certainly give him one. I mean, Trent Boult will no doubt bowl the first to try and get it swinging into the 2 right-handers. But and by the way, Virat will know that. He'll know that he's been out 7 times because he knows everything.
Yes.
And the compute machine will be bringing out all the matchups and who to bowl to who, and that'll be a flashing red light on the computer that you should be bowling Sandeep to Virat Kohli. Yes. So, not that Virat has a weakness, he just has got out to him 7 times. It's an absolute matchup in the first 6.
You know, you'd spoken about how it's become a bat game, bat versus bat. So, how important do you think Sandeep Sharma is going to be? Will they retain him? Will they want to find a way to buy him back? Or what do you think the strategy is going to be?
So, Sandeep Sharma comes as an injury replacement. He's got more than 100 IPL wickets. He's done everything. He has the greatest stats. Nobody picks him. Okay? He'll find some other team. They'll again release him. That's the truth. The fact is that because he's not a glamorous player. He's not doesn't bowl at 145. He doesn't look flash on the field. He's extremely, extremely effective. And I think people like him, Amit Mishra, they get typecast. Okay, you're a 125 bowler, you can't really be bowling up front. Amit Mishra, you look a little bit like you haven't played cricket for 27 years.
Yes.
But they're still very effective players.
They're doing what's required. They're picking up the wickets.
They do what is required. And I think Sandeep has been missed out many, many times. I mean, he was a standout for many years. SRH, he's Punjab. He's been standouts for many teams. And I think this is his great opportunity. I think he's a bowler who can really be effective. I mean, Chris Bale's strike rate against him is about 105 or something. I mean,
It just speaks volumes of what he can do, considering he's not that fiery. So, Michael, clearly he's just effective with the variations he bowls, or just bowls very intelligently. What is it that makes him so effective?
Oh, I mean, he moves the ball, so that's obviously going to help. He's got good variations in terms of slow balls. I think he watches the batter very closely, so he'll just see any kind of movement, and he knows the hardest ball to hit from the movement that the batter goes to, full of experience, and he keeps his cool. You know, he might not look like he's massively in the fight because he's just getting on with his job. He's just one of those, I can imagine as a captain or a coach, he's one of those players that you can just let be.
Bank on.
He'll just be in the dressing room. You don't really have to worry too much about him. You know that he's going to be there or thereabouts. He gets himself up for the game. He's got all the skill set. He's got a smart cricket brain. I think that's, in this format of the game now, you know, I think you've got to have a really clever cricket brain. You've got to be able to just see things that other people don't see. Just little subtle changes in the field, you know, little kind of flicks of your hands to certain fielders that you're bowling a slow ball so you can go a bit wider or a bit squarer. I'm pretty sure that Sandeep does all that.
Well, Sandeep's got that clever brain that's required for cricket, but do we have that clever brain? To answer your question, Mr. Joy Bhattacharya, please go for it.
Okay, in April 2019, which cricketer broke a record? By a record, I mean a record of this league, the IPL, originally set in 2017 in a match between two teams no longer in this league. That means, obviously, the two teams that were playing in 2017 no longer play now. There was a record set in a match between them, and somebody has broken that record. So, it's a puzzle. It's definitely a puzzle which can be solved.
It can be solved. This one can be solved, but we will take our time on that. We don't want to rack our brains too much on that. We will rack our brains on.
Gaurav's downstairs, you're upstairs.
Yeah, it's like I said, I already have those knots in my stomach.
We want to help you out.
Please help me out, Michael.
What do you reckon, Joy?
One run of the first ball, so...
Right, see, there's one.
That's not the help.
I'm going to say 199.
Amazing. I was going to say 198, but amazing. So I was thinking there and thereabouts. Okay. Okay. You said 199. I'm going to go 208.
I am going to go I don't want to kill your space because of the 10 runs.
Yeah,
so I'll go 190.
190?
Yes.
Yeah, it's good. I think
I'll go 190.
Yeah, so you've got all the place till 180. Correct.
We've got the place till 180, unless, of course, we see some acceleration from RCB. We'll wait and watch. We'll be giving you all those updates at the 10-over point. Guys, please root for me because my senior Gaurav Kapoor has just been winning consistently. So we need your support as well. Write in and give us your prediction scores as well. We'll see if you all get it right. And we'll see you all at the Combox, the 10-over point.
जयपुर वाया कोटा
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ലക്നൗ ജംഗ്ഷൻ നിൽദാണದ കಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad 50 Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন। कृपया ध्यान दो।